The Fed just issued a warning for all Americans as credit card debt has just reached yet again another new all-time high record. Coupled with high interest rates, this is concerning a lot of officials because Americans are digging themselves a massive consumer debt hole, and this is going to impact the economy in a massive way, according to their reports and what they're now seeing, which is why a lot of people are getting very concerned. Like I said before in other videos, and what I want to emphasize right here in this one, which is the economy is very important. Not only is the United States economy in jeopardy, but the global economy in jeopardy as well. Well, as we've seen so far as of recently over the last few days here, some massive volatility in the markets because of all the uncertainty all around the globe, and a lot of other countries look at the United States and our economy to give a better perspective as far as what is going on with the overall health of the global economy. So when there are jitters in the United States economy, it is felt globally, as we've seen with many markets around the globe, right? So I want to share with you the details of this report that was released by the New York Federal Reserve, and this report that was released here that shows the new credit card debt amounts based on the second quarter of 2024. So as of right now, obviously we are in the third quarter of 2024 as I film this video right now, but this report was just released, and I want to bring you the details about it because it's pretty impressive. I'm not sure about you, but the rate at which we are racking up credit card debt and consumer debt and national debt, it's just not sustainable. I mean, here's the thing. We've heard this before from many people. What's going to take down the whole system is all of this debt. We've got to purge this debt at some point. We cannot go on like this. Racking up this much debt this fast, it is not sustainable whatsoever. Cannot continue. It is not sustainable. So it's going to be an interesting thing. It is absolutely going to be a massive fireworks show at some point. When that's going to be, we're not quite sure, but yeah, let me share with you the details of the report. All right, so the second quarter of 2024, they found that credit card debt has now reached another new all-time high record of $1.14 trillion total. That's just on credit cards. Now, this is not like balances that are being paid off. This is balances that are not being paid off. So basically all total balances that are being held and carried on credit cards, $1.14 trillion. This was an increase of 2.4% on a quarter-over-quarter basis. Okay, so that's a pretty substantial increase on a quarterly basis for this credit card debt, okay? Now, again, I want to emphasize, this is not just consumer debt. This is just credit card, just the plastic, okay? I'm not sure about you. I have 4 credit cards as of right now. I've had way more than that in my life. I can tell you that much, okay? It'd take a couple handfuls to fill up all the credit cards I've had in my whole life. But we can talk about that in a separate video, okay? I don't want to go down that road here in this one. But here's the thing. Who doesn't carry a balance on a credit card? There's not that many people, right? Right now, I have thousands of dollars sitting on a credit card. I know that for a fact. I just looked at it this morning, okay? So I know that for sure, that this is a real thing for me as well, okay? So I'm part of the statistic, okay? But anyway, get this as well. This is actually pretty interesting. This $1.14 trillion of credit card debt that we're currently sitting on right now is actually an increase of 48% since the first quarter of 2020. Okay, so that's not that long ago, right? A few years ago, and we've gone up 48% just in the last few years here of credit card debt. That's very concerning. I mean, we've racked up debt massively just in the last handful of years here with everything going on, right? Now, they've also found in this report here, now again, this is not all inclusive. I'm not saying that this is the only group that's of concern, but this is the group that they've identified is possibly a soft spot and could be a little bit of a problem area, okay? The age range between 30 and 39 is the age range that they've identified has a very high likelihood of becoming delinquent on their credit cards, okay? Between 30 and 39. That's just the age range that they've identified for whatever factors they are looking at. I'm not saying that if you're within that age range that you're going to do this. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that this is the age range they've identified as a potential problem spot, okay? But there's a lot of people all across the board, all age ranges that are struggling with credit card debt and consumer debt and all things like this, right? But anyway, so the main concern is this, is that when we continue to get into credit card debt, consumer debt, things like this, what happens is that we start to look at our spending. We start to look at our disposable income, if any at all, right? We have our income, we have our expenses, and then they look at the overall situation. When we have all this debt sitting on our credit cards and, student loans and auto loans and mortgages and rent and utility bills and healthcare bills and all stuff like this, all the things like this, it all adds up. Well, then the problem is if we don't have any disposable or discretionary income aside from, just the regular everyday bills and stuff like that, the problem is we don't have that extra money to go out there and stimulate or basically support the economy, right? So when we're not supporting the economy and we see millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people in the same situation, now we look at the economy because it's potentially in jeopardy. This simply because we don't have that extra discretionary money to go out and spend on things that we may need or don't need, or entertainment or stuff like that, which helps to stimulate the economy, right? You've heard me say this before and talk about it for one of the videos, is that all of this money that we have, we're keeping the economy afloat. When we see hundreds of millions of people basically all in the same situation where they're saying, hey, I'm going to cut back because I have, $7,500 in credit card debt, or whatever it happens to be for each person. That's the average right now, by the way. It's about $7,500 of average credit card debt per person. But when we have all this debt sitting there, and then we have interest rates sitting at very high levels, the average credit card, by the way, right now is sitting between about 22.5% and 24.5% interest is the average credit card right now. Not sure about you, but I can tell you this much, not fun seeing that interest racking up on a credit card, okay? It doesn't take that much money, a few $1,000s sitting there, and you're sitting with a lot of interest that racks up pretty fast at those high interest rates like that. It's not fun. I'm not sure. Again, I just want to use from my personal experience, paying a few $100s a month in interest, not fun. Just saying, it's not a fun thing, right? That money could be used for other things like, I don't know, necessities or whatever we want, but not giving it to the bank for interest. Not a fun situation, okay? So that's kind of the situation is that when we get into this predicament where people don't have the extra discretionary income or the money that they could have had at some point to spend on the dinners and the movies and the entertainment and going on vacation and upgrading a car or whatever, I don't know, I'm just saying all these different things that people spend money on, right, to help stimulate the economy. This is where the situation comes in that if we have a few 100 million people that are all in the same situation, now we have the situation where we don't have that extra money flowing into the economy, and therefore it's going out in the form of maybe debt repayment, or it's going in the form of interest payments to the bank and things like this. It's not stimulative to the economy. Does that make sense? Right? So this is how this whole picture plays out. And why there's so much uncertainty around the overall United States economy, and of course the global economy as well. Why we've seen so much volatility in the marketplace as of recently is that people are just getting concerned. Hey, we don't know if we can believe in this economy right now. We don't know if we can believe in the United States right now, is kind of what investors are saying, and why we're seeing this whole situation play out. So it's another thing too as well. It's a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Reason being is that when we see volatility in the stock market and we see markets collapsing like we saw just a few days ago, and we see markets way, way down like that, does that give confidence into people to say, whoa, this is great, right? I'm going to go spend a bunch of money because I'm super happy. My portfolio just lost 5% today. No, right? Nobody is getting all excited those days unless they're short the market. Then they're pretty excited on those days, right? But that's a very, very small percentage of people. And it's generally people that are pretty savvy, investors, traders, things like this, that are being short the market in those situations. By the way, quick disclaimer, this is not investing advice. It's not financial advice. It's not accounting advice. It's not advice in any way, shape, or form. I'm just giving you some examples here of what's going on, okay? So anyway, this is the report that's out there, and I'd like to share this with you because this is an absolute warning that's going on. And one other quick side note here before I wrap this up is that based on everything I'm reading here, they're saying this whole volatility and this big plunge that we saw a few days ago in the markets, this is just the start of what's to come. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just simply saying, just get ready, okay? Just be prepared. There's going to be a lot more volatility in these marketplaces. just be aware of that, okay? Just please be careful. Anyway, that's all I want to tell you here in this video. Of course, I will come back and I will elaborate more on this. I can bring you further reports. I can discuss more. Whatever you need from me, please let me know. Subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends on social media. Check out the other videos here on the channel, the thousands in the video library, the ones showing up on your screen here in just a second, as well as the ones that I've hand-selected for you down below in the description at the top of the comment section. Check out those. Otherwise, enjoy your day. Take care, and I'll catch you again later.